Caught with kittens. I always knew there was something off about the way he'd sneeze when we passed the pet store, like he was overacting in a school play. Still, I believed him when he said he was allergic to cats. Why wouldn't I? It became the easiest excuse for skipping nights at my place, the reason he'd never stay over, the thing that always made me feel a little guilty for loving my own cat more than I loved him sometimes. But then, one Friday night, after he bailed on our plans for the third time that week, I decided to drop off his favorite hoodie at his ex's apartment, since she lived closer to his work. I figured he'd pick it up from her, no drama. Her window was open, and I heard giggling before I even made it up the stairs. My heart was pounding, but I told myself not to be that person, not to jump to conclusions. But when I got closer, I saw him, my boyfriend, sitting on her couch, 3 tiny kittens crawling all over him. He wasn't sneezing. He wasn't itching. He was snuggling those kittens like he'd been born to do it, with her sitting right next to him, their heads almost touching as they took selfies together. I couldn't move. My throat went dry, and I watched him scratch one of the kittens under the chin, the same way he used to scratch mine, and laugh with her like nothing else in the world mattered. I didn't confront them. I just left the hoodie at the door and walked away, my mind racing with every excuse he'd ever made, every night he'd said I just can't breathe in your apartment, every time he'd acted like I was asking for too much. That night, I went home and stared at my cat, feeling stupid for ever believing a man who could lie so easily. The next morning, he texted me about how work ran late and how he was so tired, and I realized just how much of our relationship had been built on things I'd wanted to believe, instead of things that were actually true. But here's the sickest part, I didn't break up with him right away. I wanted to confront him, to see if he'd admit it, to see if there was even a shred of respect left. I let the lie hang between us for a week, just to watch him squirm. When I finally told him I'd seen everything, he didn't even try to deny it, he just looked at me and said, "I didn't think you'd care that much about cats." That's when it hit me, it was never about the cats. It was about him never really believing I'd stand up for myself, and me never really believing I deserved better.